From shows that tried to be Adventure Time, to creators who helped build it, then tried to do it again. Let's break down every Adventure Time copy, clone, and cousin, and find out which ones burned, vanished, or thrived. Starting with one no one's ever going to forget. The Legend of Lucky and Pi, 2015. This was the most blatant Adventure Time copy ever made. Created by two Chinese students, The Legend of Lucky and Pi borrowed everything from the shape-shifting lead to the pointy-eared sword-wielder sidekick. The animation style, title sequence, and even the structure of the pilot mirrored Adventure Time so closely that side-by-side comparisons felt like déjà vu. The controversy began when fans spotted the similarities online. Lucky, the blue shapeshifter, was essentially Finn with different colors, while Pi, his companion, bore an uncanny resemblance to Jake's design philosophy. Even their adventure format followed the exact same beats. A weird problem appears, the heroes bumble through solutions, and an emotional moment resolves everything. The plagiarism went deeper than character designs. Entire sequences were lifted wholesale. Lucky's transformation animations mirrored Jake's stretching mechanics frame by frame, while background layouts duplicated Adventure Time's distinctive Treehouse and Candy Kingdom aesthetics. The opening theme followed identical musical progression and visual storytelling beats, right down to the logo font and color palette. When footage leaked online, the internet exploded. Reddit detectives created forensic comparison videos, analyzing every stolen element with scientific precision. Animation forums dissected frame rates, color choices, and character expressions, building an overwhelming case for plagiarism. The evidence was so damning that even casual viewers could immediately spot the theft. The show managed to air 5 episodes before the backlash became overwhelming. Critics and viewers immediately labeled it a shameless knockoff, and the series quietly vanished from streaming platforms. Most traces were scrubbed from the internet, making it nearly impossible to find today. What made the disappearance particularly suspicious was its thoroughness. Not just the episodes vanished. Promotional materials, behind-the-scenes content, and even fan discussions were systematically removed. The creators' social media accounts went dark, and the animation studio quietly closed. It was digital erasure on an industrial scale, suggesting legal action had occurred behind the scenes. The scandal became the poster child for cartoon plagiarism in the streaming era, proving that blatant copying would be called out in the age of social media. Want more breakdowns like this? Hit subscribe, because we cover every copycat, scandal, and comeback you were never supposed to see. The next show didn't steal. It was made by the same creator, Bravest Warriors, 2012 to 2018. Pendleton Ward's web series for Cartoon Hangover featured 4 teenage heroes traveling through space, saving the universe with the same blend of absurd humor and genuine heart that made Adventure Time legendary. Set in the distant future, Bravest Warriors followed Chris, Beth, Danny, and Wallow as they protected the galaxy while their parents mysteriously disappeared into another dimension. The show retained Ward's signature storytelling style. Silly surface plots hiding deeper emotional complexity, random musical numbers, and characters dealing with real feelings amid total chaos. Expectations were astronomical. Fans desperately wanted more of Ward's unique voice, and Bravest Warriors seemed like the perfect solution. The pilot episode generated massive online buzz, with millions of views and immediate calls for a full series. Cartoon Hangover's backing suggested that this could become the next big animated phenomenon. But success proved elusive. Despite running for 4 seasons, the show struggled with inconsistent release schedules that frustrated fans. Platform changes from YouTube to VRV fragmented the audience, and the web series format never translated to mainstream television success. While critically acclaimed and beloved by hardcore fans, Bravest Warriors never achieved Adventure Time's cultural impact. The experience proved that even the original creator couldn't easily replicate lightning in a bottle. This deserved better promotion, but the next show mistook chaos for creativity. Mighty Magiswords, 2016 to 2018. Cartoon Network's attempt to capture Adventure Time's chaos resulted in pure sensory overload. Created by Kyle Carrozza, Mighty Magiswords followed siblings Prohias and Vombre as they collected hundreds of magical swords with absurd powers, like a dolphin sword or a shouting sword, and solved problems through nonsensical logic. The show emerged from network executives desperately wanting their own weird animated series to compete with other channels. After Adventure Time's success, every network craved their own random, hyperactive cartoon that had the same type of vibe. Cartoon Network greenlit Magiswords believing louder meant funnier and weirder meant better. But the execution was exhausting. Episodes moved at breakneck speed with overlapping dialogue, constant screaming, and visual gags firing every few seconds. Characters rarely had quiet moments. Plots bent reality without purpose, and the animation style was intentionally jagged and chaotic. It felt like Adventure Time cranked up to 11, without understanding what made the original work. Viewers quickly grew tired of the relentless pace. Parents complained about headaches, kids found it overwhelming, and ratings dropped steadily. The show lasted only 2 seasons before Cartoon Network quietly canceled it, recognizing that chaos without heart was just noise. Mighty Magiswords became a cautionary tale about mistaking surface-level weirdness for genuine creativity. This felt like Adventure Time on Fast Forward, all chaos, no heart. But the next show found international success. The Amazing World of Gumball, 2011 to 2019. Cartoon Network's most successful Adventure Time-inspired show found its own unique identity through sheer creative evolution. Ben Bokelei's mixed-media masterpiece followed Gumball Watterson, a blue cat with his adoptive goldfish brother Darwin, as they navigated the surreal suburban world of Elmore with their dysfunctional family. Initially, critics dismissed Gumball as another weird cartoon desperately trying to capture Adventure Time's magic. The early episodes featured similar random humor, fourth wall breaks, and absurd situations that seemed calculated to appeal to the same audience. Animation mixed 2D characters with 3D backgrounds, creating a visual chaos that felt familiar yet different. But something remarkable happened during the show's run. Rather than remaining a pale imitation, Gumball evolved into something genuinely innovative. The writers developed sophisticated meta-humor that deconstructed cartoon tropes. The animation experimented with dozens of different styles within single episodes, and the characters grew into fully realized personalities with genuine emotional depth. The show's evolution was breathtaking to witness. Early episodes relied on simple slapstick and randomness, but later seasons tackled existential dread, social media anxiety, and economic inequality with startling sophistication. The Money addressed family financial struggles through surreal imagery, while The Worst explored toxic masculinity through Gumball's relationship with his nemesis. The writing room clearly understood they had stumbled onto something special. Visually, Gumball became animation's most experimental playground. Episodes seamlessly blended 2D animation, 3D models, live-action footage, stop motion, and even puppetry within single scenes. The Shell featured a climactic sequence that shifted through multiple art styles to represent emotional breakthrough, while The Compilation literally deconstructed clip shows by having characters comment on their own recycled footage. The meta-humor reached unprecedented heights. Characters regularly acknowledged they were in a cartoon, complained about budget constraints, and even met their voice actors. The Void introduced forgotten characters who had been written out of the show, living in a liminal space between existence and cancellation, a concept that would make Adventure Time proud. Episodes like The Nobody broke reality itself, questioning the nature of existence within their fictional world. The show ran for 6 triumphant seasons, becoming one of Cartoon Network's longest-running and most beloved series. It proved that Adventure Time's influence could inspire genuinely great television when creators found their own voice. This one actually worked because it found its own voice. The next show did the same thing. Steven Universe, 2013 to 2020. Rebecca Sugar's creation started as Adventure Time adjacent, but evolved into something entirely different and revolutionary. Created by a former Adventure Time storyboard artist, the show initially shared similar aesthetics: pastel colors, rounded character designs, and gentle surrealism that felt familiar to AT fans. Cartoon Network executives hoped for another hit from the Adventure Time creative family. Sugar had worked on some of AT's most beloved episodes, including emotional classics like It Came from the Nightosphere and I Remember You. Her promotion to showrunner seemed like a natural extension of Adventure Time's success, promising similar whimsical adventures with magical elements. But Steven Universe quickly revealed deeper ambitions. What began as a boy living with magical alien guardians transformed into television's most groundbreaking exploration of identity, love, and acceptance. The show tackled LGBTQ+ representation, trauma, family dysfunction, and personal growth with unprecedented sophistication for children's television. Episodes like Garnet's Universe revealed complex relationships, while Steven's Birthday explored identity crises through literal transformation. The series achieved critical acclaim and cultural impact rivaling Adventure Time itself, winning Emmy nominations and changing conversations about representation in animation. Steven Universe proved that Adventure Time's creative team could spawn multiple successful properties, each finding their own voice while honoring their roots. This transcended being a copy to becoming essential viewing. But overseas, things got weird. Star vs. the Forces of Evil, 2015 to 2019. Disney's answer to Adventure Time featured a magical princess, but struggled with fatal tonal inconsistency. Darren Nefsey's show followed Star Butterfly, a dimension-hopping magical girl from Muni, and her best friend, Marco Diaz, as they battled monsters while navigating teenage life on Earth. Disney XD promoted it heavily as their flagship weird cartoon, positioning Starverses as their direct competitor to Cartoon Network's Adventure Time dominance. The early episodes delivered on this promise, featuring episodic adventures with quirky humor, colorful animation, and the kind of random magical chaos that made Adventure Time beloved. Star's unpredictable spells and Marco's grounded reactions created a dynamic reminiscent of Finn and Jake. But the show gradually lost its way, becoming obsessed with increasingly complex mythology and romantic subplots that overshadowed the original magical adventure premise. What started as fun, episodic stories evolved into serialized drama about ancient queens, political intrigue, and shipping wars between fans arguing over Star's romantic choices. The controversial finale divided the fanbase by literally destroying magic itself, attempting to resolve plot threads while alienating viewers who'd invested in the magical elements. 4 seasons ended with fans bitterly split between those who appreciated the ambitious storytelling and those who felt betrayed by the tonal shift. Starverses demonstrated that copying Adventure Time's surface elements wasn't enough without clear, creative vision. Love seeing how studios fumbled these shows? Give us a like so we know to keep diving into forgotten animation history. Star vs. the Forces of Evil started strong, but lost its way trying to do too many things. Speaking of lost, let's talk international disasters. Infinity Train, 2019 to 2021. Owen Dennis created the spiritual successor Adventure Time never got. The show featured a mysterious train with infinite cars, each containing surreal challenges designed to help passengers confront their personal demons and grow as people. What seemed like a simple sci-fi premise became television's most sophisticated exploration of trauma, identity, and healing. The series emerged from a viral pilot that fans campaigned for relentlessly. Dennis, a former Adventure Time storyboard artist, understood exactly what made Pendleton Ward's creation special: weirdness with purpose, humor that masked profound emotional depth, and characters who grew through their bizarre experiences. The pilot's haunting imagery and emotional complexity immediately resonated with AT fans starving for similar content. The pilot's journey to the series was unprecedented. Released as a Cartoon Network short in 2016, it generated millions of views and spawned the Finish Infinity Train hashtag campaign. Fans created art, wrote letters, and organized social media blitzes demanding the network greenlight a full series. The grassroots movement lasted 3 years, proving that passionate audiences could still influence network decisions in the streaming age. When Cartoon Network finally greenlit the series, Infinity Train delivered everything fans hoped for. Each season explored different passengers: Tulip learning to process her parents' divorce through puzzle-solving cars, MT questioning her identity as a reflection person, and Grace confronting her toxic leadership through literal cult deprogramming. The metaphors were brilliant. Numbers on passengers' hands decreased as they resolved psychological issues, while the train's infinite nature represented the endless journey of personal growth. But HBO Max criminally canceled the series, despite critical acclaim and passionate fan devotion. The decision came during Warner Bros. Discovery's cost-cutting merger, prioritizing tax write-offs over artistic merit. Owen Dennis learned about the cancellation through trades, not directly from the network, a professional insult that devastated the animation community. Dennis's heartbroken Twitter responses became legendary among fans. He revealed planned storylines, shared concept art for future seasons, and thanked supporters while processing his grief publicly. The cancellation became a rallying cry against corporate disrespect for creators and audiences alike. Infinity Train became a symbol of networks fundamentally misunderstanding what made Adventure Time special in the first place. This was everything Adventure Time fans wanted in a successor. The cancellation still hurts, and, well, it wasn't the only one. Summer Camp Island, 2018 to 2023. Julia Pott's gentle take on Adventure Time's whimsy focused on friendship over chaos. The former Adventure Time storyboard artist created a softer, more contemplative version of magical adventures, following Oscar the Elephant and Hedgehog the Hedgehog during their stay at a summer camp run by magical witches. High expectations from Adventure Time alumni led to Cartoon Network's enthusiastic pickup. Pott had worked on some of AT's most emotionally resonant episodes, bringing a delicate touch to the show's more introspective moments. Network executives hoped she could capture that same magic while appealing to younger audiences seeking gentler content than Adventure Time's occasional intensity. But Summer Camp Island took a radically different approach. Instead of explosive chaos and random humor, episodes unfolded like bedtime stories, featuring quiet moments of wonder and friendship. Oscar and Hedgehog navigated magical situations with curiosity rather than violence, learning about empathy, creativity, and emotional intelligence through their supernatural encounters. Despite critical praise for its emotional depth and gorgeous watercolor animation, the show never found a large mainstream audience. 6 seasons concluded peacefully in 2023, having told its complete story without the dramatic cancellations that plagued other Adventure Time-inspired series. Summer Camp Island proved that Adventure Time's influence extended far beyond loud, chaotic cartoons into genuinely contemplative children's television. Underrated gem that deserved more attention. But the final show proves copying never works. 12 Forever, 2019. Julia Vickerman's show became Adventure Time's most spectacular failure. 12 Forever followed Reggie, a 12-year-old girl who refused to grow up and discovered a magical island where she could stay young forever, battling monsters and exploring fantastical realms with her friends Todd and Esther. Netflix heavily promoted the series as their direct Adventure Time competitor, positioning it as the streaming platform's flagship weird cartoon. The premise seemed perfect, a coming-of-age story wrapped in colorful adventure, featuring the kind of surreal humor and emotional depth that made Adventure Time beloved. Early promotional materials generated significant buzz among animation fans hungry for similar content. But everything collapsed almost immediately. The show was canceled after just 1 season amid serious allegations against creator Julia Vickerman, including reports of inappropriate behavior toward minors and workplace misconduct. The controversy completely overshadowed any artistic merits the series might have possessed, creating an impossible situation for both Netflix and fans. The scandal destroyed Netflix's confidence in Adventure Time-style programming, effectively killing their interest in similar projects for years. 12 Forever became a cautionary tale about separating art from artists, demonstrating how creator controversy could instantly destroy even well-funded animated series. The show's failure represented the darkest possible outcome for Adventure Time's cultural influence. The controversy overshadowed everything else about this show, and they'll regret it forever. Some of these shows deserve better. Others proved you can't fake heart or steal success. Adventure Time rewired animation, and these were the echoes that followed. Some brilliant, some broken. Which one do you think actually lived up to the hype? Drop your pick in the comments, and we'll see you next time with a breakdown of every time Adventure Time changed their animation style. You don't want to miss it.